Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap the notification bell. I would appreciate it majorly. There's certain moments, like when I have this would be like a time when I would be smoking cigarettes big time, and I'm not going to. I quit smoking, and I'm so happy, so happy. It's one of the, really good things that very happy. But it's just weird how there's just certain moments, like sometimes when I finish a project or finish a job, like at one of my parents' rental properties or something, and I'm real proud of it or happy with it. I mean, it's like that little victory moment. Normally, I would have a cigarette and just sit and enjoy my cigarette while I look at what I've accomplished. Anyways, so I'd stay for the full video for this. Remember I talked about the Alex Cox. This is about J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, the two missing kids, and all the various persons surrounding it, and what I think. I think that Alex Cox, Charles Vallow, and Tammy Daybell, all three faked their deaths, and that, they're involved, or at least some of them are involved in some pretty bad stuff. So, but I was one of the things that, because I had this idea that they had either had persons that served as the body double get plastic surgery beforehand, or they managed, to give plastic surgery to a person who's died recently, maybe an addict who overdosed. And I don't know how these people would have access to that kind of knowledge, but I'm sure it's available. And there's an ample supply of people that overdose particularly in the last few years. 70,000 people a year. So, but that's why I found it when I had that idea. I had that idea ahead of time, and then when I stumbled upon Alexander Cox's Twitter feed, and I saw one of 6 people that followed him, was a person whose business was basically making aesthetic like heads, with 3D technology, for like, I guess, medical offices and so forth, but basically reconstructing a skull, an aesthetic skull and face. And even on his website, it says he promotes it as being able to, he's now pleased to announce that I am now scanning human models to increase the realism of the face and also capture the unique qualities of different ages, sizes, races, and genders. I can also scan specific people if you would like your model to be a client or person you know. Bones and other items can be scanned if needed for other types of projects. Models are scanned in properly controlled lighting conditions and then cleaned up, retropologized, UV'd, and textured. Now, these things can come about in a number of ways. And I noticed that Natasha Campbell, who follows Alexander Cox, there's only 6 people that follow him. 2 of them are the same person. This person down here, my hunch is that's Alex Cox's girlfriend, who I think is from the Dominican Republic. But I don't know that for sure. This is Adam Cox, his brother, who's a radio personality, who used to go by Lucas Cox. That's how I found this Twitter account. And this is Nicole Bling. This is Adam Cox's wife. Okay, and her real name's not Nicole Bling. It's Nicole something. Whatever. And this is the one I was just talking about, Kevin Cease. And then this person is Natasha Campbell, and her account was created November 2014. So, this person, if I did my math right, couldn't have followed him after November of 2014. So it's from a while ago, And I don't know what line of work Alex Cox and all these persons was in, but I'm having a feeling that this was a part of their line of work. And I don't know if it's, working with cartels or what, how the heck would I know specifically? But I don't know. I don't know if he actually had some kind of relationship with this person, or mean, because these things can come about, even though it's only one of six, all right? People can follow you, and it's basically because that's what your history, your online history, everything gets tracked. Everything is known when you search things, where you go, where you click. Everything you do online is followed. I mean, this is how Google makes its money, okay? And so, when this person creates his Twitter account, it gives him options of people to follow, and it would be people who have a search history that's similar to that person's line of work, so that could be how, but it's still the same thing, it means he's looking in those areas. That's part of his online life is apparently has something to do with aesthetic heads and skulls, okay? Skulls and faces. Whatever. So, and, that's just sort of for openers. I don't know. I started wondering, about how Nate Eaton from East Idaho News, who's the managing editor from East Idaho News, I started wondering how it is how he got the heads up that Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow or Lori Daybell were in Princeville, Hawaii, or in Kauai, Hawaii, moments before the police served search warrants and stuff like that. It's not unusual. He's a reporter. He's an investigative reporter, a season one. Probably, he just, they get their information they have close working relationship with law enforcement, local law enforcement, Rexburg, as East Idaho, as well as Fremont County. I think it was Madison County, the Rexburg police that actually went to Hawaii. But I just was wondering how he happened to be there, and he was the only one there, first. And then others followed once it became broke. It was a broken story, but he broke the story. Okay. So, but I also started to wonder, about East Idaho News, because I noticed he's the managing editor. Eric Grossarth, who's a reporter, but managing editor is pretty, it's basically like one of the top positions there. And so I started to wonder who started East Idaho News, and, when did it come to be, and who's behind it, who owns it? Because I if you follow these kinds of things, if you follow ungodly amounts of news like I do, and politics, and business, you've come to understand that, news outlets and controlling them and owning them is a very common thing now. It's just all over the place. It's like Citizen Kane, dude. I mean, it's the same thing, but now it's just like hog wild every which way. Your daily. I'm not going to go through them all. Washington Examiner, Washington Free Beacon, Daily Beast, Mediaite, and on and on and on and on. Okay. So I was just curious who started this and who owned it, and I don't know exactly, but I believe it's Nate Sutherland. Nate Sutherland is the person who founded it. Like, I think not long ago, January 2015 is where I kind of peg its start date at. And I believe Nate Eaton is, I don't know if I would call him a founder, but it's basically Nate Eaton and Nate Sutherland are the two, driving forces behind this East Idaho News. Whichever, and they're buddies. I mean, to the best of my knowledge. I mean, this is Nate Sutherland. I don't know how many people he follows. The fourth person that he's following is Nate Eaton. I'm almost positive. Besides, them starting this East Idaho News together, more or less. I think they're close. I believe it's not terribly important. So, and I'm not going to go through everything. And here's East Idaho News. That's where it's April 2015. Is when this Twitter account was started. I don't have the YouTube page up for East Idaho News. It was around the same time, maybe January. I'm fairly certain it started in January before they started. They hired people and stuff like that. and got up and running. And I mean, this is that's Nate Sunderland. Well, he calls himself the managing editor of East Idaho News there, but actually, and Nate Eaton calls himself the news director, senior reporter. I think that's changed, that he's now the managing editor. That's what it says. No, it does. No, I'm sorry. It says managing editor is Nate Sunderland, news director is Nate Eaton. I don't know who's behind the ownership of it, whether they're the owners or there's some other money behind it that's financing it. Probably somebody else. More likely than not. So, anyways, but like I said, this is the East Idaho News, main Twitter account, but there's also another one. There's another one that just has a slightly different moniker, and it doesn't have, the logo to it. It's called East Idaho News, and it's East Idaho News, and it just has Idaho News instead of, what's this one? East, the two-letter symbol for Idaho News. And, it has only 2 followers, this one, and this was started in April 2015 as well, just like this one. So it only has 2 followers. It's Nate Sunderland and Nate Eaton. And it only has 15 followers, okay? 15 different followers. But oddly, extremely oddly, like unbelievably oddly, out of the 15 followers, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There was one more. Where is it? No, there's 4. I'm sorry, 4. 4. Okay, 4. 4 out of 15 are very similar to basically kind of this dude over here who follows Alex Cox. Okay? And, they're, in fact, I don't know for sure, okay? Because there is no websites for either one of these two, whatever you want to call them, organizations. Are they a company? I don't know. Milcal, Anatomical. But up here it's a different, slightly different name. It's the same one. It's 3 different accounts. 3 different accounts for Milcal or Milcal. And 1 account for Station 7 Anatomical. So you got Milcal Models, Station 7 Anatomical, Milcal Corp. So it is a company. I guess it's calling itself a company there, even though they dropped the E. And Milcal Anatomical. And you could search, I didn't search Milcal Corp. I didn't do that. And I don't think I did. It's interesting though, did I just do that? Let's see. Did I put that up there? Okay, it didn't. It just. I don't know, because they're based in Arkansas, but there's nothing for that either, And maybe there was at one point. I don't know. I'm not real sure. So they are, each one is it says Arkansas, USA, all right, and joined June 2016. You see the picture here, okay? The description is we are this is Station 7 Anatomical. We are an Arkansas-based supplier of anatomical models. Our range of human skeleton models, life-size human skull models, human spine models, and more. And that one's, same thing. That one's based in Arkansas, USA, Arkansas, where Bill Clinton used to be governor, as well as Mike Huckabee, And I think Sarah Huckabee Sanders is going to be running for governor there at some point. But the eBay store goes nowhere. It's no longer here. Sorry, this store does not exist. I didn't look through the tweets exactly. I mean, I only have so much time. Okay, so but Milcal, same thing. Based in Arkansas. This one was joined July 2016. Was the other one June 2016? I think it is. No, that's July 2016. Just so we all know, so we're all on the same page here, dude. That one's June 2016. Okay, so you pretty much get the point. But, and the same thing. I mean, it has a very similar, Milcal Anatomical has a very similar description to, we are an Arkansas-based supplier of anatomical models. View our range of human skeleton models, life-size human skull models, human spine models, and more. It's almost exactly to Station 7 Anatomical. Okay, so, and it's just 4 out of 15 people that follow East Idaho News, this alternative Twitter account for East Idaho News, and the only 2 people it follows are Nate Eaton and Nate Sunderland, the managing editor and the news director of East Idaho News. And being that, over here with Alex Cox, I found this when I kind of thought these 3 people faked their deaths and they managed to somehow get recently deceased persons' corpses to look like them, to serve as their body doubles, when I stumbled upon this one of 6 followers that was following him that basically creates anatomical, aesthetic heads and faces, skulls, I was pretty shocked. And so likewise, when I'm looking at the alternate East Idaho News that only follows 2 people, Nate Eaton and Nate Sunderland, the managing director and news director of East Idaho News, but out of 15 followers, there's 4 accounts that are very similar to this guy over here. Okay? It's pretty weird, don't you think? That's pretty damn strange, like baffling. And, I looked at him some, not a tremendous amount, some, and because, most of them, they have a similar sort of followers and following profile, in the 4,700 range with, 200 some followers, following 4,700, 200 some followers following them, when this one has 170, this one has 340, whatever. And I went through one of them, through all the 4,700 followers. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was this one, because it seemed the most suspicious to me because it didn't have any kind of, graphics to it. And there's a variety of things there. I mean, law enforcement, law schools, counties. I mean, on and on and on. I mean, do I need to do that? I mean, it just goes on. Law. I mean, there's a ton. I mean, there's a ton of different places it focuses on. Baltimore seems to be. Maryland seems to be a place that, there's a lot of people they follow in that region. Hawaii comes up. Hawaii real estate. I found Hawaii real estate in this one. Okay, and that just seemed odd to me. It seemed to jump right out at me. Jump right out of the page, right at me. I don't need to go through all that. Maybe I'll do that later. Who knows? Okay? But when I was looking at who they follow, because it's a little easy to do, because this one only has 170, whatever, right at the top is, 2 different people that's just, stood out to me right away. Shaheen 2020. That's Jeanne. Is it Janine or Jeanne? Janine? It's Jeanne. Jeanne Shaheen, who's the U.S. Senator in New Hampshire, where we just had a primary, where Bernie won. And Buttigieg did well, Does this have something to do with that? I don't know, But I do know that out of all these 4 accounts, which one was I on? Out of all 4 of them, all 4, right at the top, because it is Shaheen 2020 following them. They are following this one. This person's not following Shaheen 2020. Shaheen 2020 is following Milcal Corp. And so is Kimberly Dudik, who's running for Attorney General in, I think, in the state of Montana. Okay, and in all 4 of them, those 2 follow them. Believe me, I can't. There's no way I could try to convey what the hell's going on here in 20 minutes. All right. But, and they're both Democrats. Okay. Democrats have been working with Trump, in full force from the very beginning, starting with the coup de grace of what I said, Hillary Clinton. Totally, 100%. And that she lost on purpose. And, it's not like they're like, they didn't do it just because, Trump really wants to be president. It's a lifelong dream of his to be president. I don't think that's what we're talking about here, dude. Okay? What do you think? But they're both Democrats. But, everyone, including the other one that seemingly is a different organization than the MilCal or Millical, whatever the hell you want to call it, right at the top is, there's Kimberly Dudik, okay? And there's Shaheen 2020. And Kimberly Dudik and Shaheen 2020. And there's others too, but I got to choose my battles for the moment, all right? Kimberly Dudik, Shaheen 2020. And like I said, you look these people up. You look up Millical Anatomical, and it doesn't bring anything up but those Twitter accounts. There's no company to it, no nothing, okay? And you look through the followers, there's other followers that would make sense, chiropractic offices, whatever, that would actually use those services, Believe me, I guarantee you there'll be some ridiculous explanation, but I don't care, okay? I do not care. Bring it. Where's the other one? Yeah, and this is the Station 7 Anatomical. I just typed in there, a little portion of their description that they put in their Twitter, description. We are an Arkansas-based supplier of anatomical models. Nothing comes up. No company. No nothing. Okay? And that's pretty much, that's the story there. I understand it's, very open-ended here, but I think I deserve to be a little open-ended, don't you? I think I do. I do. All right, well, that's the end of this video, man. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. And I will see you in the next video. Later, man.